So a couple days ago, the YouTuber Nicholas Diorio uploaded a follow-up to the explosive video he made against MamaMax with Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers a couple weeks ago. This video includes a bunch of new information, the craziest of which being the fact that MamaMax accused yet another one of his former friends of being a pedophile with no evidence. This time, it was the YouTuber NightDocs, someone who Max actually lived with rent-free in his house at one point in his life. Nicholas Diorio tweets out his video and Keith Andrew responds by saying, "The NightDocs bit was super interesting. As a subscriber, I wondered where he'd gone as his content was always top-notch. This is clearly repeated behavior on Max's part, and it makes his claim that he could literally cancel Charlie a lot more sinister." NightDocs also released a statement on Twitter that says, "My statement on the MamaMax video just released today by Nicholas Diorio, where I explained for the first time what Max did to me. I'm grateful to Nexpo, Some Ordinary Gamers, and others who listened. I'm grateful to you. NightDocs will return soon." He then links Nick's video and an image that says, "I know people have been wondering where I went and why I fell off so abruptly. My comment section is full of questions. The truth is that over a 3 to 4 year time span, I experienced one traumatic event after another. I was suffering from severe depression. Then I went through a messy identity-shattering divorce. The woman I loved and knew me better than anyone rejected me. I lost my job, facing more rejection about my ability to do what I was hired to do professionally. My grandmother died. My house flooded during the big Texas freeze. And since I no longer had a job, I was on a mortgage payment deferment, which meant I believed I didn't have home insurance, so I wasn't able to repair the damage, and my house became a depressing mess falling into disrepair with a concrete slab for a floor. My house then caught fire during a live stream. On top of all this, some of my closest friends who I thought knew me well completely rejected me and cut me off. And while I was given an explanation, it didn't make any sense to me. Then I found out that Max, who I had opened my home up to and allowed to live rent-free just so I could have a friend nearby to help alleviate the loneliness and isolation I was feeling, had gone behind my back and spread false allegations of the worst sort about me to my closest friends and didn't even have the courage to tell me. Worst of all, I could not defend myself because not only did I not even know why my character had been completely assassinated, he had so much credibility both publicly and privately that I didn't stand a chance on being believed even if I knew about what he had said. I simply wasn't strong enough anymore. By this time I had completely run out of money, and I knew it was too dangerous for me to live alone, so I moved in with my parents, further eroding my self-esteem. My father and brother and I spent months repairing the damage from the flood and the fire and sold my house. I had what seemed to be undeniable empirical evidence that I was a toxic piece of shit that people were better off without. With nothing left to live for, and no visible path to an existence worth enduring, I came within hours of doing something very stupid and very permanent. I had a plan, a place, and had made up my mind. I planned on leaving no note, because at this point, I felt I was so worthless that it wasn't even worth explaining anything. And then my daughters saved me. The image of their faces too young to understand and so unconditionally loving. It wasn't fair. My parents checked me into a mental health facility that evening, where I stayed for over a week and a half, until only last week, when Nexpo called me to tell me what Max had done to me behind the scenes. I really believe everything that had happened to me was deserved. I'm just now starting to put my life back together. I have a good therapist. My daughters love me with the childlike innocence that heals with every hug and kiss on the cheek. They know that daddy is sad, but are too young to understand. But they truly saved my life by simply being who they are. And the thought of them dealing with the fact that their father wouldn't be around for birthdays, graduations, weddings, all of the boy problems, it kept me alive. If not for myself, for them. I recommend watching Nicholas Diorio's latest video linked below, talking about what Max has done broadly. You'll hear me speak on the record for the first time about all of this. What he did to me pales in comparison to the damage he has caused to the women he allegedly abused, and the victims of CSA that he has failed through his own narcissism and unchecked megalomania. I and my friends that you destroyed are moving on. The damage is done, but the healing has begun. Out of darkness, we can all find light. Turkey Tom responds by saying, "GG, good luck, man." Rod Ellis says, "Out of darkness we can find light." Missed hearing that line in your videos, and I can't wait to hear it again. NightDocs' response has always served a dual purpose, the other being to remind myself. Keith Andrew says, "The most interesting part of the video. I'm ashamed I ever subscribed to Max now. He seems to be incredibly devious and malevolent. Looking forward to your return, dude." Doc on the radio says, "I like the vampire werewolf aesthetic." Irrational Chad says, "Absolutely insane what happened to this guy. Hope he is able to build his online career back up from this." NightDocs Max quote tweets himself and says, "I'll be leaving tomorrow morning and will be dark for the next week or so. My girls and I are taking a family vacation. If anyone is trying to reach me and I don't immediately respond, I'll be back around February 10th, I believe." So MamaMax did respond to all of this on his Patreon, which got reposted to Twitter by Nicholas Diorio, where he says, "Max is desperate to keep the Patreon money coming in. I don't believe for a moment that he got plans to get a job. This is manipulation. Feel bad for me garbage. Do not fall for it." He then shows the post from Striker Films, which is the name of MamaMax's Patreon, as his last name is Striker. But anyways, the post is titled, "For those of you that remain. Despite the recent defamation campaign, your support has been invaluable. Unfortunately, our operation here has been severely crippled, so I'm currently seeking local employment, but I remain committed to our film projects in my free time. Here are the current plans. We'll proceed with the documentary on Camden Gerard Davis after law enforcement has concluded their investigation. An extremely detailed response video, Silence All Survivors, is in the works, revealing certain influencers' actions against us and the survivors we are supporting. Given the sheer volume of attacks, finalizing this project may take months. If there are specific concerns you want addressed, please mention them in the comments. It seems our detractors will continue to drown out our voices with more falsehoods and accusations until we give up, but the truth soon emerges over the horizon. Stay alert and open-minded until you finally see the other side of this story. Theoretically, I could engage in the same manipulative strategies, align with their adversaries, exploit every rumor and accusation ever made about them, orchestrate gossip among our peers to alienate them, and even platform their most abusive ex-partners and past enemies. However, I refuse to engage in such tactics, choosing instead to present facts and let you judge them based on their own merits. Thank you again for believing in us. We will not be silenced." Alex responds to Nick's tweet by highlighting the part of MamaMax's statement where he talks about the manipulative strategies people use against him and captions it by saying, "This bit in particular is absolutely hilarious." Nick responds, "At NightDocs, isn't this exactly what he did to you?" NightDocs then responds by saying, "Haha, yes, I have thoughts actually." NightDocs then shares this image where he highlights the part of Max's statement where he talks about seeking local employment, the survivors he's supporting, the manipulative strategies he claims people use against him refusing to engage in such tactics, and him presenting facts. He comments on these things by saying, "What could you possibly be qualified to do? Ever since you got yourself discharged from the military, what the hell have you even done? And I'd love to be a fly on the wall when they ask you to explain the gap in your employment history. Who do you even have left? Seriously, is there anyone besides Spencer?" Theoretically, this could be a massive projection where you list the very specific things you did to me, and unlike the testimonies you claim are evidence, I not only qualified what I said as what I was told, and we have countless corroborations coming in. You may have lived rent-free in my house, but it's clear I'm living rent-free in your head, and the reason it scares the shit out of you is because it should. You may be dangerous, but now only to people who give you the time of day, which is no one. Max, if you actually gave a shit about these survivors, you would recognize that even if you were right, your reputation is so tarnished, so much, that you no longer can be the messenger. Take whatever dignity you have left, and bow out as gracefully as you can. Others have already taken over, and the only reason you could have to continue is to massage your insatiable ego. How come you have 0 exes that you parted ways with amicably? What's more likely? Every single person you've ever dated abused you, or the abuse flowed from a different direction? Please, find me an ex-girlfriend of yours who actually knew you and can speak positively for your character. I hope you have noticed the pattern in your life that you stay in an area only until it reaches the point where people figure out your bullshit, so you skip town and start fresh somewhere else. Normal people just don't have enemies, Max. I have people I disagree with, but enemies? I know you think you're fucking Batman, but you were just a scared little boy who literally wears lifts in his sneakers to make your ass look rounder. You antisocial cringe fuck. Also, while we wait for the months it will take for you to fabricate a response, rest assured, there is an absolute nuke right next to your face, just waiting to detonate. She found us, Max. It's fucking over. I'll bring marshmallows. Anyway, I'm hitting the beach. Just be glad your ChatGPT lawyer has a $0 retainer. Lorix reacts to MamaMax's statement by highlighting the part where Max says he's seeking local employment and captions it by saying, "MamaMax has just made a new Patreon statement saying he has to get a new job. Due to the recent defamation campaign against him. Don't worry, Max. I've heard McDonald's is always looking for some new burger flippers. He then adds MamaMax with an image of a McDonald's employment application and says, "Here you go, buddy. May come in handy." Willie Macho responds by saying, "Wasn't this guy minimum making 15K a month? Where's that money?" Lamp responds by saying, "Spencer's a high-maintenance human shield, Willie." Repsion says, "Boo-hoo, Max. Get out there and start making your worth, which is none. How dare you have to actually put effort into the real world and work a 9 to 5. Oh, the horror of being a real adult." Chris the Narc says, "Film degrees are tough to sell to employers." Critical Shogun says, "The MamaMax job interviews questions are gonna be crazy. Can you tell us your past occupation?" I'm a failed pedophile hunter and student." Harles Barkley adds on to the joke by saying, "Describe a different work situation and how you overcame it. People didn't like me, so I lied a bunch and quit." Goblin shares this clip with the caption, "Camden David somewhere watching MamaMax destroy credibility after 5 years." Lorix also tweets out, "Breaking MamaMax! Me and multiple other YouTubers have all received privacy complaints from YouTube on our MamaMax videos, despite none of us doxing personal information about him. These were all sent at about 3 AM to 4 AM in the morning Max's time. These are the emails I was personally sent from an email called privacy@support.youtube.com. Could be real or fake, I don't know. I've never gotten an email from them before, but it claims the entire 2 hours of my recent stream yesterday showed private info, plus my whole Nexpo call vid. These are the videos that were given the privacy complaint for reference. Coincidentally, my most recent coverage going over the new Nick video and call on stream, plus most popular video on the topic, the Nexpo call. So far, this has happened to Chud Logic, Big Bungie, and Matt Pitt as well, and all the privacy complaints claim that the private content isn't at a specific timestamp, but instead the entire video or stream, lol. This seems like clearly Max. I will update thread if more come out. Nick just came out saying he got one too, for the first 40 minutes of the YouTube call. He then shows Nick's tweet where he says, "Just got a privacy complaint for the first 40 minutes of the YouTube call. Feel free to repost far and wide. I won't be making any edits." Oh wait, this is really funny. No, it's the whole call, lol, sorry. I just woke up and missed the 2. Yeah, there's no shot this will go through, but either way, repost, my friends. Nick then shows a picture of the email where it claims that from the 1 minute 30 second mark to the 2 hour 42 minute and 51 second mark, there was private information in his video, which clearly isn't the case. He then continues by saying, wonder how this will go, showing that he received 6 privacy complaints. Squatchin responds by saying, "But I thought it was going to make Muda look bad." Lipo Brewery says, "ChatGPT understands the privacy complaint system." Venice Rover Mania shows a picture of MamaMax hiding behind Spencer and pointing a gun, which is a false privacy complaint. Lyrics continues his thread by saying, "Mudahar and Toastify also got hit too," showing Mudahar's tweet where he says, "It seems someone on the MamaMax team is hitting people with bullshit privacy strikes. Doing this won't get the stink out of your shitty behavior of the internet, you clown." Relumis responds by saying, "When the cancellations won't work, time to pull the lawfare." Savok says, "I'm surprised he and Plagued Moth aren't besties. They both love abusing copyright and privacy complaints." Average Vibes says, "That's like the last step of a channel going to the forever sleep." Texas Bronco says, "MamaMax is the new lol cow." That Creepy Reading quote tweets Mudahar and says, "I hate how the new bullshit DMCA has turned into the new bullshit privacy complaint. When you call people out, they're just going to try and take your stuff down." And then of course we also have Toastify mentioning that he got a privacy complaint. Lorex's thread continues when he says, "Xylee just got hit with the most privacy complaints so far with 5, all MamaMax related, with one being as far back as even 2 months ago. It seems there's no consistency in the content shown that is getting people these complaints, aside from all of them being MamaMax related." He then shows Xylee's tweet where she says, "I just got hit with 5 privacy complaints. Of course, all of them are MamaMax related." Bro, I'm always gonna keep talking! Middle finger emoji. Tree of Logic responds, "Xylee, is there a way for you all to beat these without losing your channel?" Xylee responds, "Well, with the privacy complaints, if they actually go through, they will just take the videos down and no strikes on your channel. But I have faith they aren't going to go through because nothing private was shown. So I think we are gonna be okay. Either way, I'm gonna download all those videos and upload them on my Rumble channel just in case." Lorix then shows that yet another channel got a bunch of privacy privacy complaints on their MamaMax videos, this time being Doc on the Radio. Larix comments on this by saying, Doc on the Radio just received 5 privacy complaints on 4 of his streams, and one on his AI cover he made of Max singing I Kill Pedophiles by Mr. Girl, laughing my fucking ass off. This is the funniest one yet. He then shows Doc's tweet where he says, I have been hit by 5 privacy complaints from my MamaMax coverage, including the MamaMax AI song cover. And he had so many complaint emails to show that he had to make another tweet to attach the last 2. Larix then shows that yet another YouTuber got hit with the privacy complaints. This time it's Tommy C, who he quote retweets and says, Tommy C has now been hit with a privacy complaint for his 2021 stream on MamaMax. In case you needed more evidence that there is no consistency in which these privacy complaints are being sent out for. He then of course shows Tommy C's tweet, and the Iron Duck responds to it by saying, bro, his people skills are gonna hinder his promotions at Burger King. Magnetar quote tweets Tommy and says, he needs to get a job, Tommy C. If his employer sees you, tell him to, check notes, suck your Irish balls. Magnetar also tweets out, in light of new statements from him, I plan to re-engage in legal action against MamaMax. This will unfortunately come at a substantial cost. Today, I'm asking for your help in holding Max accountable, not just for what he did to me, but for the harm he's caused to others. Read more here. He then links to his Go Get Funding campaign page, which I will also leave in the link in the description for you guys to support. But on this page, Magnetar goes in depth on why he needs this money. He says, MamaMax has operated without accountability for his actions that have both directly and indirectly wronged countless people. In my case, accusing me of being one of the most vile things that you can be, a pedophile. He did this on his YouTube channel with millions of subscribers, doxing me in the process. The accusation was completely false, as is the evidence he claimed to have, and now admits he never did. This was blatant retaliation against me and my partner for providing evidence of his behavior towards us, much of which he has now admitted to publicly. In December 2022, I contacted multiple law offices to discuss whether I had a case against Max. In January 2023, my attorney began reaching out to Max to discuss the situation. Due to Max's refusal to engage with my attorney in good faith, or by using an identified legal representative, a multi-month back and forth between my attorney and Max's representative drained any disposable income I could put towards this case. At this point, the bulk of the harassment has also died down, albeit the mental toll, reputational harm, and financial losses still existed. In July of 2023, I decided to pause any further legal action unless Max engaged me again. However, in January 2024, MamaMax reignited these accusations in a live stream, again asserting these false claims without any evidence. This has compelled me to resume legal action to protect my reputation and seek justice. MamaMax has cultivated a following by positioning himself as an advocate for victims of CSA. However, his actions in my case and others demonstrate a disregard for truth and responsible advocacy. It's time to challenge this behavior and hold him accountable. Goal: $75,000. Based on discussions with legal representatives and input from others familiar with the legal process, I would not feel comfortable moving forward unless I am able to raise a minimum of $30,000 out of the goal of $50,000. In the event I cannot raise the $30,000, all funds will be returned to donors. He then links a bunch of additional background information and context, which I and many other YouTubers have already covered in previous videos, and then he ends it off by saying, your support, even if not monetary, means the world to me. Thank you, Magnetar Anthony. And then he adds on this part that says, Max, this part is for you. I am willing to end all legal action against you if you do the following. Delete your Believe All Abusers video that contains the baseless allegation against me. Publicly retract your claims and acknowledge the harm caused. Publicly acknowledge the misuse of your platform and the weaponization of public trust and the misleading of your subscribers, many of whom are CSA victims themselves. Cease weaponizing your platform against individuals without evidence. Commit to involving law enforcement and legal representation in all future work you do. Your actions will have consequences, and as a creator with such a large and impressionable following, you need to be held accountable. Also, you should privately advise Spencer, your sister, and others from making any further false allegations against me. Going back to Twitter, Kaiser Source responds to Magnetar by saying, I promise I'll donate next paycheck. Go Magnetar. Magnetar responds, don't donate if it's not disposable income. I don't want people partying with money they need. Nicholas Diorio says, fuck him up, Magnetar. Comment Cop says, I think it's funny Magnetar only cares about false allegations after he lost the smear contest to MamaMax. Both these guys suck. He then shows a tweet from Fizz on July 9th, 2022 that says, I've been subbed to Nexpo, MamaMax, Scare Theater, and more people because I love Lost Media. And then Magnetar on the 23rd responding, well, do you love abuse and sexual assault and grooming minors? Because Max does, and then links his video on MamaMax. Comment Cop also shows a YouTube comment he left that says, 2-year age gap, grooming. And then Magnetar responding, in the eyes of the law, yeah, actually. And in the eyes of normal fucking people. Nice to know you are pro-adults being sexually active with kids though. Lorex gives us an update on the privacy complaints when he tweets out, some tard named Joshua Putman just admitted to being the one to file the false privacy complaints to multiple commentary YouTubers. He pretended to be Max and sent them to YouTube to stir shit as an experiment, but now has said he will remove them. He then shows various screenshots. This first one is Joshua Putman showing that he made all of the privacy complaints, and then someone asking him, is there a reason why you did this? And if it really was from you, can you undo it right now? He responds, I will. I just did this to cause drama and chaos as an experiment. I never wanted anyone to get unwanted hate, and that's why I'm coming out now, because I don't want innocent people get hate. I also did this because I knew YouTube wouldn't take it down. The other person responds, okay, but do you not see how it's pretty excessive and overstepping boundaries? He responds, I see that's it oversteps boundaries. The other person replies, also, if you were not Joshua, do you mind telling me who you are? Joshua then responds to one of their previous messages where they ask if he's willing to take down the privacy complaints, and he responds, I will. And then they respond, okay, thank you so much. Please let me know as soon as you've done so. Have you also done it to Ant or Brine? This last image is Joshua Putman responding to another message from this person and saying, I just wanted to test YouTube's privacy complaint to see how bad it is. It's really bad in my conclusion, because none of the times did they ask me for proof, and there was no option for proof. I only seen two person that know how this truly works. The first person was some guy named William, and the other person was the actual Joshua person. The only reason Joshua knows is because I filed privacy complaints towards videos people made about him when Joshua got his account hacked, to make him look guilty, while doing the same thing while knowing it won't get taken down. Lorex continues by saying, more screenshots of emails he sent to YouTube that match up with the times I got my privacy complaints, including the exact email he got from reporting my video. What a weird fuck. He then shows a DM where Joshua Putman shows the email he got in relation to striking Lorex, a bunch of screenshots of him doing dozens of other privacy complaints on other YouTubers. Chud Logic shares these same DM leaks that Lorex did and tweets out, just finding out that it wasn't MamaMax that filed the privacy complaint against my channel and others. It was someone called Joshua Putman. Whilst this is obviously annoying, it is insane that YouTube accepted these reports without any scrutiny or proof of identification. And that's about it for the discussion around MamaMax after Nick's most recent video release. Absolutely insane that MamaMax did not only falsely accuse Magnetar of being a pedophile, but also one of his former close friends, NightDocs. If you want to support Magnetar in his lawsuit against MamaMax, I will leave the description to his funding page in the top of the description below. If you want to hear all of my thoughts on this, I recently did a live stream talking about it on my second channel, Mayo Monkey, which has been clipped and condensed into a video on that channel that you can watch right now. As for your guys' opinions, I would love to hear them in the comment section below of this video, and while you're at it, if you could leave a like, I would deeply appreciate it. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.